You don't need glasses to enjoy this video in 3D, read the description for more information. Can't say I'm a big fan of the Battlefield series, not after the second one at least, but the third one does have good 3D. So as usual, I'll talk about the 3D for a while, whilst trying to avoid talking about the game too much, since I do have strong opinions that you'll probably disagree with. But the single player does suck, honestly. And then towards the end of the video, I'll show you a long uncut sequence without my talking, so you can see for yourself how good it is. The 3D that is, not the game, because the game isn't very good. I think I've shot enough up, let's go to the next area. Hi there, what do you think of the game? Oh, how cute! I'm not saying anything. Here we are, shooting a load of people with a paintball gun or something. I mean, how many bullets does it take to kill someone in this game? Where did he come from? And where did he go? Oh, come on! No, I'm still going to give this game a good chance. That should be the slogan for this game. Supports real 3D. Now you too can feel like you're being punched in the face. I mean literally, not by the game's shoddy mechanics or anything. But credit where it's due, the 3D does look very convincing in situations like this. There's a reason I'm showing you bits of the game like this. In all honesty, the 3D only adds to the game when things are up close to you. In most of Battlefield's environments, things are quite a long way away apart from the cover. It still adds to the game, but just not to the same extent. For example, if I walk around this area here, you'll only see things really close to the player popping out of the screen. It's better than a lot of first-person games, but you really need a game like Tomb Raider to compare it to, just to see how good properly implemented 3D can look. Obviously third person lets the camera angles be further apart, but I've said that so many times I'll just stop talking about it now. So yeah, let's get on to some action. Yeah, here we go. Some nice enclosed environments where everything pops out of the screen. The 3D that really stands out tends to be quite gimmicky, like if you stand too close to a fence, like I'm going to do in a second. Don't worry, the dog is unharmed. Now let's face it, no one plays Battlefield for the single player campaign, except me. So is it worth playing in 3D and multiplayer? This is a difficult one. Well no, it's not. You shouldn't play. I mean, you do get some advantages, but the disadvantages outweigh them. You have half the frame rate, and there's more buffering as well. I mean, it needs to show two different viewpoints, so I think the action you see is always a split second behind what's actually going on. I hate VSync and triple buffering and things like that, but this doesn't seem to be as annoying. But it is still there. Having a 3D capable monitor on the other hand is another story. It shows a 3D image by alternating between the two different viewpoints 120 times a second. So if you disable 3D, you effectively get 120 frames a second, which is competitive with the old CRT monitors from years ago. In fact, I'd say it's worth getting a 3D monitor even if you're not going to play it in 3D. It's a nice little feature to have, and it does make single player games more fun to play. Honestly, it does, really. And also, for a monitor to display 120 frames a second, it needs to be very clear. No ghosting at all, otherwise this would be unplayable. Even when it's switching between the viewpoints, I can barely see any ghosting. You can see it when there's real contrast, like a really bright object next to something dark, or the other way around. But it's not that annoying, because it is in addition to everything else you need to look at on the screen, and you're normally too busy trying to shoot somebody to care about it. Which brings me on to the next point. Aiming in 3D mode tends to be difficult. In real life, if you bring a gun up to your eyesight, the crosshair that you're looking at is a completely different distance away from the thing that you're trying to shoot. This means that you can either focus on the crosshair or the thing in the background. Battlefield 3 sniper scopes do the same thing. Now Battlefield 3 sniping is slightly more difficult in 3D mode, which is what I'm going to blame my poor shooting on in this clip. It's not a game breaker, but in multiplayer it might be. Let me just interrupt this analysis to show you what I hate in this sort of game. Yep, scripted sequences where if you try to go off the beaten track, you're mercilessly mowed down. God, I hate that.
Suppress it!
I'm only showing this clip just to show I did manage to do it, but honestly it's so far away the 3D effect won't mean anything on this building. But anyway, back to 3D. It's 3D ready, so they've prepared for this, and the crosshair is normally at the same distance away from the person, so all you have to do is to look at the crosshair and shoot where it's aiming. Apart from with sniper scopes, as I mentioned earlier. The Oculus Rift will be interesting, because if you can move your head around and it will move in game, you might be able to line one of your eyes up to the scope, close the other one, and get a perfect shot. You've heard it here first. Arma 4 sniping will be amazing in 3D with the Oculus Rift. Mark my words. And let's finish off this video with this mission. Now, anybody who hasn't played through the campaign of Battlefield 3 and intends to, close your eyes! This is close to the end of the game, but I don't think it spoils much, so open them again. It's a really nice level to showcase the graphics in loads of different environments. I mean, this isn't too good in 3D, but forests, they look nice. The level of detail is stunning and it runs really well in 3D. Oh look, they even included the aircraft you jumped out of. Oh, no they didn't. So I'll just run down here and then I'll show you another good use of 3D. Okay, I think that's enough. Time to get into a car. And another thing I have to praise the game for, it sounds good. Geez, talk about dangerous driving. And should I say that they're driving on the wrong side of the road? Nah, it's not worth it. Anyway, yeah, the sound effects in this game are great. They muffle just the right way and it shows. I feel like I'm in a very claustrophobic car at the moment, and it happens time and time again in the game. In a minute you'll hear people outside trying to get in and it sounds just like there's someone outside trying to get in. Really, I'm not making this up. I'll just show you. Anyway, we're heading up to the end of the video now. I'll just show you one last battle and then I'll show you a clip without any talking in. You know what? I'm starting to enjoy this game again. Maybe I was being harsh on it. Oh, come on! Oh, for goodness sake! Okay, fine, I'll get into cover. Yep, okay, this cover. Oh, where's it all going? Okay, go prone, go prone. Okay, what do I do at this point? I'm just pinned down. What can I do? This is why I hate games where you have to go from one place to another, shoot some enemies, carry on to the next place, shoot some more. Don't ever go off the beaten track or you'll get shot. By God. Now, I thought that going underwater would look quite convincing in this game, but it's got to be some of the worst graphics I've seen. It seems to just put like a blue texture above you and keep the water rippling underneath. It doesn't make sense. Well, if we learnt anything from this video, it's that 3D makes gardening simulators better. I spend most of my time smearing my face in bushes to try and get the 3D effect. And wait a second, that vase isn't meant to be doing that. Honestly, I'm not going out of my way to find glitches with this game. They come to me. And I'm going to shut up now, and you can watch some video without me. Have fun.
Враг движется слева. Я вышел, прикрой меня! Проблем. 7 seconds perimeter. Fall back. Defend the seafood. Можем обойти 100%. Вы должны обойти дом. Пройти на вперед и Here's the helicopter. On the way. Trouble with Russian jets. Americans are closing in. I don't care. Notify me when it's 5 minutes now.